What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sanity and Symphony Podcast. Here with your host, Official Lynn Sanity, and today I am joined with my special guest, Etta. Introduce yourself to the audience.
What's up, everybody? Like Anthony said, my name is Etta. How we doing? It's been a long time for me, but I'm back and happy to be back on the airwaves. Currently out of radio, out of the podcast biz, but hoping to get back into it. Like you said, it's like riding a bike. You can never forget it. So we're going to dust off the rust. We're back on the mic, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Anthony.
No problem. It's a pleasure to have you here. And for starters, let's explore on how you got into media and how you became a media personality.
Yeah, so I always had a passion for media. Like I said, currently still have my podcast, The Tea, where we talk all things pop culture and we spill in the tea our true, authentic way. Shout out to the tea, shout out to my co-host Troy. But I started off in college. I had a passion for it. We had a college radio station on campus. And from the moment I stepped foot into that studio, I was hooked. I was in love, and I knew I had a passion for it. Now, mind you, in college, I was a broke college kid. And being a broke college kid, the best way to see concerts or even have a little snippet of like sniffing an artist is working in radio, if you can imagine. So, in the beginning, I was doing it for the free concerts to network and see artists and stuff like that. But towards the end and towards the middle of my college career, like I was starting to get a little bit of buzz. We were starting to do big giveaways. Like we would give out spring break tickets to South Padre Island. Um, that's like a big thing here in Texas. Like all the college kids from all over the United States. If you're not in Florida for spring break, chances are you are in SPI, South Padre Island in Texas, having a good time. So we would give out those tickets to Clayton's Beach. Um, Give out major tickets that involved like Cardi B, Glorilla. Um, Sexy Red wasn't really hot then, but more like Wiz Khalifa. Who else? Just like major like hot hip hop artists at the time, and like just being a college student myself, like having that ability to put those giveaways was awesome. Like, of course, we'd always do it for free, but working concerts in Corpus Christi, that was awesome. Got to work with Vito, um, the baby, Frankie J. The list goes on, and immediately I was just hooked within this industry, and I knew it was an industry for me. And yeah, like it's something that I may be stepping back from it now, but it's something that for sure I still to this day have that itch and that passion for it.
No doubt. And it's a good thing you found that passion and what you want to do at a very young age and starting to learn a lot and expand your mind on your career as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm let me break it down like this. That's how life is. If you don't have a passion, if you don't have a goal, you're just living, but you gotta live for a goal, live for a passion. It just makes life more fulfilling, you know?
Exactly. And also, could you expand and explain on how you started your creation on the T podcast?
Yeah, so I started the tea with my best friend. His name is Troy. We were just a couple of kids. You know, we were very not raunchy, but we love to talk our shit. Like, we believe that we're definitely people of a generation. We felt like our generation was never heard. People kind of side eye, like the older generation kind of side eyes us and says, like, oh, y'all are too young. Like, okay, boomer, whatever. But like, this is a podcast that expresses our true, authentic opinions on all celebrity news and gossip. And it really just started off from me and my best friend just talking and cracking jokes and saying, we should do this on air. Like, we have the ability to entertain and keep a conversation going. Like, why aren't we doing this on air? We were both communications majors. We were both trying to be in media. So it's like, it was a given. Like, it had to be done. And it was something that started very organically. And I'm proud of the progression that it has, like, progressed. Because once again, starting from where we would get these interviews with like artists like B.O.B., Sean Wayans, Vito, like different like local artists and like some heavy hitters like nationally as well. But we didn't really have help from our university. So the fact that we were able to build that from like from the start to where we are now, like it's something I can say till this day we're very proud of.
You mentioned your interview with Sean Wayans, and they recently announced that they're getting ready to release a new movie in the Scary Movie franchise. So could you
Yeah.
speak on like how you were able to get that interview with Sean Wayans and speak on your experience with it as well?
Yeah, so I had recently moved to Houston back in 23, and I realized that Sean Wayans was coming to Houston. So, being in radio, you got to know how to network and how to use your connections. So, thankfully I was able to get in contact with his publicist, and from there I was able to garner an interview and say, "Hey, I know you're coming to Houston. Let's see if we can get you on." Thankfully, I was also able to get that on the airways on one of our local stations here in Houston, Mix 96.5. Shout out to them as well. And this was a great way. The Waynes, one thing about the Waynes, they're one of the hardest working families in the business. They still believe in the power of radio, so they're never scared to do like a press circuit for sure. So that was awesome. We did ask them a few questions about when's the next Wayans movie. I mean, you guys are geniuses. We got to have y'all back on our screens, whether it be a movie or a TV show. Um, he did hint, and I'll put this on your podcast, Anthony. So you're welcome for this one. He did hint at a possibility of a In Living Color reboot. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so if they bring it
Oh
back, they're gonna
man.
bring back the whole team, hopefully. Of course, all the brothers and sisters of the Wayans, and then you're gonna have probably like Jamie Foxx, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, and he did even say Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey is on his own little island away from Hollywood, and he's really not trying to mess with all that anymore. But I feel like he'd come back for the Wayans. But yeah, it's definitely good to have them back on our screens. I mean, they're iconic, they're legendary, and the fact that they're doing another scary movie and a scary movie is getting made by the Wayans, because if you notice from the jump from 2 to 4, because I believe they're on 4 now, uh, the humor kind of, it wasn't it. But that's because the company that had Scary Movie, it was actually Harvey Weinstein's company that had it. So when they took over pretty much for 3 and 4, they fired the Waynes. So that took away all the acting, all the writing, all that was produced, written, directed by the Waynes. So once you had all that stripped out, it was kind of watered down. And like Marlon Wayne says, you can't do Wayne stuff without the Waynes. So I'm really excited for this next scary movie. I know it's going to be a hit.
No doubt, I am too. It's one of those movies I grew up watching in my childhood, and man, it's a comedy classic for sure. Anyone can argue
Oh yeah, but just don't expect another white chicks, because
that.
last time I talked to Sean, he said, yeah, with all the prosthetics and everything that goes into it, like it's gonna take the act of God to get him and Marlon back to do another white chicks. But hey, we gotta take what we can get. I'll take a scary movie. They always killing in those, so I ain't mad at it.
No doubt. And as a woman in media, could you speak on some of the challenges and victories you face in a competitive field?
Yeah. So I also worked media, but I've also had the pleasure of working press for different concerts and festivals. It's definitely at times, it's gotten better. It's definitely at times a man's industry, but it has gotten better, like I stated. There'll be times when I really have to push and be myself's biggest advocate, which is fine. But when you work these events and you're seeing like the people you're surrounded with, majority of the time, these photographers and these cameramen, they're like I said, cameramen. Like it's rare to see a lot of women out there in the pit doing a whole bunch of grunt work, getting the shots that they need. Mind you, we're getting the shots that we need, the visuals that we need, not just for our page, but we're also writing reviews as well. So it's very humbling, I'll say, but it's also a privilege as well. One of the moments that I really realized, like, wow, I can really make it is when I did press for Kid Leroy. This was back in New York. I got to work one of his concerts. And mind you, I was still in college in Texas, in my little college Texas town. And I flew out to New York, and I was not only the only woman in the pit, but I was the only person other than security in the pit. And I was just looking around like, this is Kid Leroy. Like, mind you, this is the era where he dropped that song with Justin Bieber. Like, the actual song is escaping my mind. So he had some buzz to himself. And like, this was in New York City. And you mean to tell me a kid from a little small town in Texas, still in college, is doing media and doing press for like Kid Leroy? Like, this was big stuff in New York City. Like, this was big stuff. So that was definitely a moment where I was just like, wow, like if you really put the effort and you really believe in yourself, you can really achieve some amazing things in this world. But you got to be willing to put the work, put yourself out there, and like believe in yourself, most importantly.
You said it best because most people believe that when it comes to your dreams that everything is an overnight success when in reality you got to put in the time, the work, and like some people say, you got to pay some dues in the industry, you know?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, like I still have my moments, like I still have my moments where I'm just like, I don't think I can. Like I still go through those like my imposter syndrome, as they say, moments where it's just like, I don't know if I can do this. And maybe that's probably why I'm on my hiatus right now, because I'm going through it right now of the I can'ts. But I just need to get back on the train of I can, I will, I do, you know?
Exactly. And speaking on that, could you highlight some of the ways that you maintain your mental health while juggling creativity, hosting, and engaging in public engagement in your podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question because like we go through a lot and like we go through a lot of no's a lot. So there's going to be times where you're going to be feeling very low, but you really just have to have those moments and pick yourself back up. And one thing I like to do is I love to pray. I love to meditate. I like to make sure that I'm still in a positive mentality. I like to journal as well, journal my goals so I never lose track of where I'm trying to go and I'm never lost. But I would say like those main things of me always just praying, meditating, talking out my dreams, talking out my goals. Maybe it's not sounding too sane that I'm talking to myself, but I mean, sometimes you gotta talk it out or write it out, you know? So, just praying, staying positive, not taking the no's personal because my theory on no's is every no is one step closer to a yes, you know? So if you don't get an artist or someone that you want to interview, that's fine. I believe in the future, it just wasn't your time, but I believe in the future, there might be a time where it's like everything works out. Maybe it's a scheduling issue. Maybe it's just not your time and you still need more preparation in your work, and that's fine. But there's a reason for everything. So don't take things too personal on the nose, and stay humble, stay kind, and pray, meditate, whoever your higher power is.
No doubt. And I've had some guests, previous guests on past episodes who give some examples on some things that they resort to when they're in times when they're like feeling down. So are there any like top three things that you resort to on times like that?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Like top three things that you resort to, like for example, music, faith, or things like that, whenever you're feeling down or just having a like a hard time dealing with anything in life.
I think you said it best. Like you kind of listed them already. Music for one, like uh anytime I'm feeling down, if I'm listening to music and I'm in like my rock bottom moments, I'm down bad. I'm talking about let's go ahead and pop up the gospel. Like, Lord, please, I need something to revive me. Lord have mercy. But definitely music. I would also say I'm very big into manifesting, so music, manifesting. What else? Uh, when I'm down bad, I mean, I don't want to sound like an alcoholic, but get go out with the friends, have a great night, and get your head out of things, you know. But definitely when I'm at my rock bottom, I gotta pop in the gospel. But music is something special, and I feel like that's why I love this industry so much because music is there for you whenever you feel like you don't have anyone. I feel like music can be there for you. Like we have our moments of sad, happy, joyful, and there's a song for all those moments. Like if you think of a moment, there's a song for it. Like it can be any crazy random moment. There's a song, an album specifically for that. So I really do look through music, through God to help get me through things, most importantly. God number one can outdo the master, but God music. And going out and getting my head out of it, and I'll give myself a week to like dwell. And after that, it's like, okay, pick ourselves up. What are we going to do next? Because complaining and dwelling isn't going to do anything.
And it's good. At least you're giving yourself some time to give yourself time to think and think things through. How can you recoup yourself and recover from everything that you didn't been through and that's been keeping you stressed and holding you down from everything as well.
Absolutely, you have to.
And can you speak on some of your favorite stories or interviews from your podcast?
That's a good one. That's a good one, and it's a hard one. Let me think. The one with B.O.B. was actually kind of hilarious. He had just came out with that album Out of the Blue, I believe. I don't know what year that was. I think it was his most like recent album in like the 2020s for sure. And like B.O.B. is just such a dope person. Like he's definitely vibes. Like he's high vibrations for sure. He was kind of a little you could tell he was on a little something something. I'm not gonna like out him like that, but he was on a little something something, so it definitely made for a great interview. Sean was amazing as well. Um, the baby was crazy. This is I want to give a little disclaimer. This was pre the baby before he got canceled. So the baby was funny. He was funny, but I feel like the most interview that I'm really proud of and like can say that we did and we crushed it was just Shawn Wayans. Just like my generation, like White Chicks has always been one of my favorite movies. I grew up watching the Wayans and Living Color. Like I've always loved all their stuff and like just the insightful that Sean would tell us, even like little stories that he would tell us with about John Witherspoon, may he rest in peace. It was amazing. It was a great interview, and I'm glad I could say I had the honor and privilege to talk with him because that's a family that really like they stuck together. They've been through all the eras. If you really think about it, they started from like the 80s all the way to like 2025 now. So like I just wish I could have picked his brain more about like what was it like with his brother Keaton growing up in that era with like Eddie Murphy and all that. Like that was just a huge moment for itself in comedy. So yeah. But the most that I've learned and grown from, I would say that Shawn Wayans interview. That was really special for us.
No doubt. And are there any dream guests that you would like to have on your show that you haven't had yet?
Oh yeah, like I always, and I'm pretty sure you have a list as well, but I always have a list that I've always wanted. Right now, I would love. Can they be dead?
Yeah, sure.
As, as morbid as that sounds. Okay, so can we do a top three dead and then alive? Because I have a bunch that I would love. Okay,
Yes.
so dead, may they rest in peace. Number one, Michael Jackson. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I'm not just a fan, I am a Michael Jackson stan. So that number one would be Michael Jackson. Number two, Whitney Houston. The Voice. Like, it's a must, it's a given. And number three, let's see, on my morbid list. Um, I would go with Maya Angelou actually. I
Mm.
just feel like she has so much life and just like the lessons. I feel like it would be a master class on like life, on how to live life, how to get through life, how to pick yourself back up through life and the joys of life. Like that would be the title of it. Just life with Maya Angelou. The may she rest in peace as well, of course. And then the alive ones, there's no hiding it. I'm a big Beehive. So Beyonce would be number one. I've been to her Renaissance concert and working with the Houston Texans, I got to see her Cowboy Carter Christmas concert in Houston. So that was
Uh-oh.
awesome. I think it was more awesome that I got to see it at such a good view for free. So shout out to the Houston Texans for providing that for me. I really appreciate that. Um, so Beyonce number one. Number two, uh, like I said, our generation, we're full of heavy hitters. I gotta go with Kiki Palmer. Like she's killing it right now in movies and with her podcast as well. Like I actually have a pitch for her when I do interview her because I don't like to say if it's a matter of when I interview her, because call me delusional, call me Delulu, I don't care. I will interview Kiki Palmer at some point in my life before I pass. So, Kiki Palmer. And when I do see her, and I will pitch that idea. I would say it on the show, but I don't want you or any of your people stealing my ideas of what I want to pitch to Kiki.
I would never, no.
I was like, if I pitch it to you, I mean, just make sure I get my cut. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, Kiki Palmer, and then who else? Who's another good one? SZA. I gotta go with SZA. I love SZA, her music, the way she writes, the way she performs, like SZA. Like, I don't think understands the magnitude of how much she defines our generation. Like, I consider her like probably like one of the greatest writers of our generation, honestly. Like, SOS is still getting played in this household. It's still double platinum, and so is Control. Control is like triple platinum. Whatever is the highest other than platinum, that's Control. So like, she's just a true artist. Like she's amazing. I know she suffers from like social anxiety, but like I feel like with my personality, like kind of like Kai Cenat, like I could break it out of her. So yeah, SZA, Kiki, Beyonce.
What are your thoughts on her performing at the Super Bowl with Kendrick?
I knew it was coming. I mean, like Kendrick just came out with that great album, which has no skips, absolutely none. And SZA's on a couple of his songs, and then Kendrick's on a couple of SZA songs. So it's like it's a given. I knew it was coming. It's not a surprise. I personally would have loved it if he would have kept it a surprise because I do like surprises. Like you kind of lose that whole lust factor of the whole like who are they gonna bring out, like and then when you see them come out, like the anticipation of it, like by them announcing that SZA's gonna be on the lineup, I love that for her, definitely. But like it would have been such a high like I don't know, a high moment just to be like, oh my gosh, this is on stage. Like, and that's a lot of things that I feel like we're missing. We're missing that surprise effect that like really amplifies a performance or like events in general.
He might
Like
be
when
leaking that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like when Beyonce did her Super Bowl performance, no one knew she was bringing out Destiny's Child. Like, hello, like if she would have lost, if she would have announced that, like it would have like taken out the lust of it, like the hypeness of it. But like whenever she just brings them out, it's like that's what brings the magic. And like by them announcing it, it took away the magic. But it's still gonna be a great performance. Don't get me wrong, but like we're missing that magic aspect of it.
Yeah, and I feel like he's probably keeping that element of surprise for as far as like the hip hop side. You never know what
Mhm.
kind of rapper, guest rappers he might bring on.
That is true. I mean, Kendrick is a true kid of the game when it comes to hip hop, but I don't know. I'm ready for, like I said, because I'm a little bit messy. I'm just ready for They're Not Like Us. Like that's gonna be something. I know Drake's gonna be punching the air the moment he hears that song. But yeah, I'm excited for it. He's gonna kill it.
Depending on that lawsuit, we'll see where it goes.
True. See, Drake knew what he was doing whenever he put up that lawsuit because he was like, I'll be damned if this man performs a song on the biggest stage. So, well, do it, Kendrick. You got the money. At this point, we're all pitching a GoFundMe and we'll start something so we could just hear it. Like, I'm here for the pettiness. Call it what it is. If I'm petty, I'm petty. Guilty.
Oh well. And what are some surprising things that you have learned about yourself while becoming a podcaster and working in media and press?
I've learned that, excuse me, I thought I had to sneeze.
Bless
Thank you. I've learned that I'm very ambitious. I've also learned that I'm very goal oriented. And I've learned that when I really put my mind to it, I can get it done and I can accomplish it. And I feel like that's such a powerful thing to know because the possibility of the unknown is a scary factor. And to know that you can do something, that's very powerful if you think about it. So I would say that for sure. Proud of that.
Okay. And what were some things you learned based off of the mistakes you've made in the past?
Definitely, if anything this business taught me was professionalism. There's a way to go about things, whether it's asking for an interview or performing or working an event, whether it be media or press, there's a way to go about things. So I would say professionalism for sure. It's one of those things, if you're not acting a certain way or if you're not holding yourself to a higher standing, like people are going to pick up on that. You may think that not everyone's looking, but people are always constantly looking and watching you. So you have to make sure that you hold yourself to a high standard and you're producing. Um, you're always putting your best foot forward. So I would say that as well. Being a kid, like you can be very immature, and especially like the stuff that we do, like it's okay to say that the stuff that we do is pretty cool. Not everyone does that, but we have to respect what we do and we have to respect the art, the craft of it all, and take it serious. Like try not to like be on your phone as much or try to like snap this or snap that. Like yeah, it's cool for like Instagram and all your social media, but you have to remember at the end of the day you're doing a job, so you have to treat it like that and make sure you add that whole professional effect to it, because by them seeing your professionalism and you networking and connecting, that's how you get the next gig. No one ever wants to take a kid serious, but if you don't carry yourself like a kid and you carry yourself like a professional, they will see you like a professional. So I would say that.
I agree 100%, and it builds that trust with other companies, and they can trust the way that you act inside and outside of the public eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what are some advice you would give to anyone who's aspiring in your field and wants to do the same things you're doing?
Advice. Let's see. What's something that someone didn't tell me that I wish they did? Number one, just do it. Like if you like there's a bunch of equipment now that you can get for cheap, but it's still quality equipment. If you truly have a passion for this, or if you truly feel like you have something to get off your mind and voice out your opinion, just do it. Go for it. I mean, if you're caring about if people are going to like it, then you're not in the right business, because you can't care about if people are going to like it. You have to care that if you like it. As long as you're liking your work and you're proud of what you're putting out, you're doing it. But just do it. Don't be scared to do it. What did they say? Closed mouths don't get fed. Well, there you go. Closed mouths don't get fed. So just do it. Talk yourself off that ledge if you're like, oh, I can't do it. I still have those moments where I have to talk myself off that ledge, but you can do it. Make sure you have a good plan so you know how to execute that plan, but do it. And believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, no one's going to be an advocate for you but you. Like, they can give, can I cuss on here?
Yeah,
They can give two shits about who you are. You could be a big name in your neighborhood or in your state, but you say you go to New York, say you go to LA, they can give two shits. You have to be yourself's biggest advocate. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're already lost. So I'm gonna need for you to believe in yourself, do it, prepare, do it, get it done, and start producing.
amen to that. Amen to that. And one last thing I ask all my guests on my show at the end, what is one artist that you resonate with in any genre and why?
Not to sound cliche, but I gotta say Beyonce. Now hear me out before they're all like tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes.
Go ahead.
Just the way she carries herself. She's a woman, like we said, like she's the epitome of our generation. She defines our generation of what it truly means to be an artist, what it truly means to be a performer. She embodies excellence, and that's something or someone I want to carry out no matter where I am in my field. Right now, I'm working in sports. I work for the Houston Texans, but if I can work my way back to media, like just having that mentality of carrying yourself and knowing true excellence, like 100% Beyonce. Nothing Beyonce does is mediocre, and that's kind of how I want to carry myself and earn that merit for myself as well. So I would say Beyonce. She's amazing. She's a queen. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she will always be the moment. So Beyonce. Carry yourself like a queen. Beyonce.
Shout out Queen Bee and the
Yes, have
Beehive.
to. Yes, gotta do it for the H-Town.
Shout out all my peoples in Houston too. I got some people out in Houston.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And where can everyone reach you if they want to reach out to you on social media or catch some of your content?
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram at it's Etta, that's spelled AYYEITSETTA. You can follow me on X on that page, Threads, Snapchat if you're a Snapchat person. And if you're ever trying to connect or trying to figure out how you can get your first gig or footing into this business, just shoot me a DM. I'm pretty much very like open to DMs. Like I may take a minute, but I will always respond. Anthony, you can go ahead and vouch for me on that one.
I can, I can.
But yeah, and my thing is like, I don't like to gatekeep. So it's like, I always believe that there's room at the table for all of us to eat. So if you have questions, just reach out to me. Hopefully, I can connect you with someone and let's all eat, y'all. It's time to feast, you know? It's time for us to make it. We're some young bloods in the game. The game's getting a little old, so they gotta start making waves for us, you know? So let's make it happen.
Exactly. And like they to all my Disney heads out there who watch High School Musical, we're all in this together, right?
We're all in this together. Exactly. You get it. Exactly. Well said.
And that concludes another episode of Sanity and Symphony Podcast here with your host, Official Insanity, joined with my special guest, Etta. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye, y'all.